It was just over 2 months ago that Gina Carano tweeted this picture here with a little explanation of what we're seeing in the picture. And immediately after that, she was fired from Disney and Lucasfilm from her role as Cara Dune in The Mandalorian. And I know a lot of you are probably asking, what does Gina Carano have to do with Ontario and the stay-at-home orders? What do those two, how do they correlate? Well, we're going to get into it right now. And we're going to see why exactly what Gina was talking about is playing out in real life in 2021 with our neighbors just to the north of us, the Canadians. Let's get into it. So this article is from Yahoo News, and it's titled New Ontario Restrictions. Stay-at-home order extended. Police given extra powers to strongly enforce rules. This article is from Friday, April 16th. Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced Friday that the provincial government will be extending the stay-at-home order for an additional 2 weeks, 6 weeks in total. The reality is there are few options left, Ford said. The difficult truth is every public health measure we have left comes with a massive cost to the people and their lives. So what exactly are they calling for? Well, effective Saturday, April 17th, we'll read these bullet points. Outdoor gatherings are limited to your immediate household only, but people who live alone can still join with one other household. All non-essential construction projects are also being halted. The province is restricting all outdoor recreational amenities, including golf, where you're at least 300 yards apart from each other? That makes no sense. Basketball courts, soccer fields, and playgrounds on the same date. Capacity in big box retailers is being reduced further to 25% capacity. Now, effective Monday, which is tomorrow, capacity at places of worship, weddings, and funerals will be capped to a maximum of 10 people indoors or outdoors, but drive-in services are permitted. So I guess if you're getting married, this is great. You only have to invite 10 people and actually put out 10 meals, but 80 or 90 people could drive through and drop off gifts. Maybe this is genius. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree here. Well, let's see what else. Checkpoints will be introduced at our inter-provincial borders, limiting access to border crossing between Ontario and Manitoba and Quebec, with exceptions for work, medical care, transportation of goods, or exercising Indigenous treaty rights. I believe here, this is Solicitor General Sylvia Jones. Ford said police and bylaw officers will have the authority to enforce public health measures for the duration of the stay-at-home order, and restrictions will be, quote-unquote, strongly enforced. Solicitor General Sylvia Jones explained, police will have the authority to require any individual who is not in a place of residence to provide their home address and their purpose for not being at home. Papers, please. Police can also stop a vehicle to inquire. Seriously, this is papers, please. Police can also stop a vehicle to inquire about why an individual has left their home. Unbelievable. This is craziness. The information from the Ontario government reads that effective Saturday, police officers and other provincial offenses officers will have the authority to require any individual to provide their home address and purpose for not being at their residence. In addition, police officers, special constables, and First Nation constables will have the authority to stop vehicles, to inquire about an individual's reason for leave. None of your goddamn business why I'm leaving my house. The additional enforcement tool will be in effect during the stay-at-home order and exclusively to enforce the stay-at-home order. Jones said anyone who does not comply with the police can get a $750 Canadian ticket. When asked if Ontarians should call police or bylaw officials if their neighbors are breaking the rules, the Solicitor General stressed that everyone has a personal responsibility. She's quoted here, "I would hope that a vast majority of us would take that personal responsibility seriously," Jones said. "I'm never going to encourage people to inundate the bylaw enforcement or police department with calls, but if it means saving lives, then I think we have to think about what your responsibilities are as an individual." So, similar to what Gina said, they are turning the public against each other. It's neighbor pitted against neighbor. This is Gina Damas, like Nostradamus. Now, first of all, I would love to know where are they getting the right to stop people in their cars who are driving freely, how do they have the right to stop you to find out where you're going? Are we not allowed to travel freely in North America without being harassed by law enforcement? Is that not part of our constitutional rights? How are they just stripping those away? And see, this is the problem, right? Because they start small. Even though I would say this is huge, but to some, you know who you are. This seems like a big deal. And it is. It is a big deal. They're taking away your right to travel without molestation. It's craziness. Now, this is exactly what Gina was trying to warn about in her tweet. While the Twitter mob came after her and said, "Oh, she's a fascist." I mean, as of just 2 weeks ago, Heidi Heidenkamp, who was editing these videos? That's not Heidi Heidenkamp. The old congresswoman there from North Dakota, wherever she's from, was on Bill Maher's show saying that she was a Nazi and a white supremacist, and she said, "Oh, maybe they're going to attack me for libel." She should. She should go after you for slander. She's not neither one of those things. She was simply saying, "Listen, people, this is how they work it. Okay, you got to be careful. You can't just keep your head in the sand." And I know Gina doesn't need the money, right? She's very successful. She had a great MMA career before she became an actress. I'm sure she's made a lot of money. And she doesn't really financially need to go after this woman. And who wants the headache anyways, right? You're going to spend all that money to go over this old bag from North Dakota. But, the point is, we see now that maybe we should just stop and think. Just take a minute, step back, and say, what is this person actually trying to say? Okay? She was not being racist. She was trying to warn people that, hey, folks, you really got to be careful because the government is not out to help you. They are out to hurt you. They seem like they want to help, but they really don't. And I think anybody that said anything bad about Gina, badmouthed her about her tweet, you owe her an apology. Because you're living it right now. You're living exactly what she was talking about. So you got nowhere to stand. Get off your soapbox. All right? You got outdueled. She is definitely winning this argument. No doubt about it. And I'll just finish up with this. Please, people, if you happen to live in Ontario, do not call the police on your neighbors. I mean, unless, they're live firing at you or lobbing grenades over the fence. But do not call them if they're having their family over. People should be getting outside. It's nice out. You need vitamin D. Okay? It's been proven you need vitamin D. Every time I go to a Walgreens or a CVS, there's no vitamin D in the supplement aisle. None. Zero. Can't get any. We have an all-you-can-eat buffet out there of free vitamin D. It's this magical thing called the sun. Right? We don't need to buy supplements. Why are people spending money on supplements? Just go step outside. Get in some sunlight. So get outside, get some sun, get some exercise, get healthy, eat right. That's how we beat this thing. Not by cowering inside our houses and double masking and all this. All right, let's take a lesson here. And I'm gonna see if we get any Twitter people who will come out and apologize. I think for sure if you live in Canada, you owe Gina an apology if you were roasting her for her tweet back in the day. So. We'll see if anybody comes out. We'll wait. I'll be watching. I'll be looking. If I find someone, I'll make a video about it. But don't hold your breath. All right, people. That's it. I'm out.